and welcome back to Curator's Pick. In a previous month, I featured this building, what we call the Deere Wyman Carriage House, which was actually built in the 1910s as the Wyman Garage here on the Deere Wyman property. But I want to go back to the building that was located on this spot when the house was first built in 1872. We're going to be looking at some historic photos and historic architectural plans, so I can talk to you about some of the updates that were made to the building. So let's begin by looking at some historic photos from our archives, which show the barn on the Charles Deere property. In this picture, we see the house that was built in 1872, and off to the right, the barn. Now, the house was designed by William LeBaron Jenney. We don't know if he designed the barn, but it's a good bet that he may have, because it definitely picks up some of the same themes as the house. How early is this picture? I think it was when the house and landscaping was newly finished. So probably 1873. Now let's look at another photo that shows the property, the house on the right, the barn on the left. This shows the east side of the property. The last one showed the west side. We can see the rooftop of the house and the Victorian style barn here. What I think is interesting is it appears that there's 3 floors visible on the east side. So the basement level was open to the outside, whereas the previous picture just showed 2 stories. This picture, I believe, was taken 1880s. And then finally, we see this photograph. The roof line of the house is definitely different. So it's post-1899 fire that occurred on the 3rd floor, and then the roof was rebuilt in a more current style. But here in the center, we can still see the Victorian style barn. So this has to be from early 1900s. We see the 11th Avenue here, and this is 8th Street. So let's see the barn close up. We don't have the original plans, but we were lucky that we just came into possession of some plans that are dated 1908. They were requested by Mrs. C.H. Deere. Now, Charles Deere died in 1907, and so maybe this was already planned before his death, or Mary Deere felt like doing the project where she was going to remodel the barn. This is the west side, closest to the house, where you see the big doors in the center. We see the 2 floors, and then this wonderful detailing work on the peak and above the 2nd floor windows. Next, we see the south elevation, which faced 11th Avenue. Sadly, there was not a plan for the back side or the east side of the building. But this south side is interesting because we see they repeated the detail peak work, so makes me wonder, did they do that on all four sides? We also see 3 floors. This would have been the basement level, which today they would have still been able to see those because of the way the hillside was built. So here's the outside. Now let's look inside. Let's start with the basement floor plan. It's hard to say, except for a few things, on what was remodeled and what was not. We've got the present wash rack that they kept, storage area, but the interesting thing here is they have it listed as garage. Now, by 1908, the Deeres would have had a car. We know that they had a Deere Clark car at that time. So entering on that basement level in the east side of the building, you could drive the car into. So maybe that had already been done, or it was a new addition. Now let's look at the first floor. First floor, over here, you have brooms, storage, saddles, whip closet, but here it says new maple floor. So that was redone. The original floor was kept here. Here it says move wash rack. And here they've got a manure chute in the back, and then the stables for the horses. One interesting thing, it said fittings or fitted with J.L. Mott stable fittings. J.L. Mott from that time period was a well-known plumbing fixture for houses, but they must have, I'm pretty sure they did stable fittings also. They had wonderful doors along here with glass on the top part, so they kept those stables. And then finally, the second floor, we've got middle bins furnished by owner. We have a hay chute, hay storage, an elevator over here. You definitely could get the hay down to the horses easily, but you needed to get the hay up to the second floor. A large storage room, and then I don't know if this was new or always there, and maybe it was remodeled. There was a living room, bedroom, clothes room, and a bathroom for a staff member to live above the carriage house. And then, of course, the stairs going down. So I hope you enjoyed the new wonderful architectural plans that I got to scour. It's interesting to learn more about a building that is gone now, but it's nice to see the architectural plans so that not only do we have pictures of the exterior, but also pictures that show us the interior. Thanks for joining me this month, and we'll see you next time.